So Eastern Bluestar, Amsonia tabernaemontana, is the plant of the month. It's in the dogbane, the Amsonia family, which is the dogbane family, and it's really, I think this plant in particular it's really great to look into the history of the name. Amsonia, the dogbane family, means noxious to dogs in Greek. And that's from apo, means away from, and kuon, which I guess is the CYN part, is dogs. And so it would have gotten that name because it has a milky sap that is toxic, and so it's toxic to mammals, so they don't eat it. So that makes sense. And also that milky sap, that's kind of the same as milkweed, it can irritate your skin. But it's not like you're rubbing the stuff all over you, so it's not a problem. Let's see. Okay, and then we get to the Amsonia part. And that comes from Dr. Amson, who was an 18th century scientific explorer. And then we get to the tabernaemontana, which, I mean, it takes a while. You have to say it a few times to get comfortable with it. But that is the middle name of the father of German botany, a 16th century herbalist. So all three of those names have meaning. So the plant itself gets to be about 1 to 3. Oh, are you doing it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, I'm trying to make sense of it. Okay, so it's one. Oh, I can just kind of look. Both. So it gets to be of 1 to 3 feet. It's a perennial, and you can see how the flowers are all at the top of the stem. They're tubular, and so because they're tubular, I'm going to jump ahead a little, so you'll just have to remember this. Well, you'll see it in a minute. But because they're tubular, it attracts hummingbirds. It's good for long-tongued insects, such as sphinx moths, butterflies, and then there are long-tongued bees and things like that. So those are the animals that are, most apt to be using it. And it blooms early, March, April, and May. So I saw it in March, I saw it blooming in April, and I'm not sure if they'll make it to May, but so that's its range. And it says it may get rust. And the ones I have, mostly I got from one site where they were rescued because the site has just been scraped and they're doing all sorts of stuff. And some of the population did have rust. It had gotten into that field, and so several plants had rust. So I was very careful to try to get ones that didn't have it. I've never had a problem. But it's just telling you if you have rust around, it may be susceptible to it. Okay, the soils, like sandy loam, clay loam, and clay. And that kind of indicates to me it likes soils that are kind of compact. Because even sandy loam, when it gets dry, it gets really hard and compact. So, so when you think about kind of our flower bed soils, it may not be as happy because I think it's going to want, a little more tightness around it. It's what they call a facultative wetland plant, meaning it's most often going to be found in a wetland and indicates a wetland, but not always. I think it was U.S. Fish and Wildlife that had those statistics, 67 to 99%. So it doesn't require water all the time. I mean, it's found in places where it can be standing water after heavy rain for a few days, and then during a drought it gets hard as a rock. And these things, they survive that. So that's again why I think the tightness of the soil is what's going to save it during those times in nature. I mean, you're going to be watering it, so it doesn't have those same problems. So, oh, and full sun to light shade. So I've seen it kind of growing in an open area surrounded by trees, and so sometimes it was shaded by the trees. And then, oh, this is something I think was really pretty interesting. These little V things, each flower makes a pair of those. They call them follicles, and they're really long. So you have these flowers and then these long pairs of things. Follicles is a really technical term about a carpel and one from the carpel and this and that, and I didn't quite get it. And so it's a seed pod. It's a specialized type of seed pod, a certain kind of seed pod. So it's really interesting, but 4 or 5 inches is really long. And that's a great website, IllinoisWildflowers.info. It's really got a lot of plants and a lot of information. And lastly, here we're back to the insects that I talked about that like it. Then it's got the sap, and that's pretty much it. So it's a really nice plant. Again, Mark Morgenstern is growing it. I think we've got one over here, don't we? 3. So we have 3 on the giveaway table that we'll get to, and we're going to have it at the plant sale. So thank you. Thank you.